I'd like to call to order the Proctor City Council meeting for Monday, December 5th, 2022. Could you please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll perform roll call at this time. Councilor Benson?
Present.
Councilor Reuter?
Present.
Councilor Johnson?
Present.
Councilor DeWall?
Present.
Mayor Ward's also present. Please let the minutes reflect all others in attendance, including Attorney Bray and Administrator Rich. Looking for a motion to approve the City Council meeting minutes from Monday, November 21st, 2022.
So moved.
Councilor Reuter made the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilor Johnson. Any discussion? I would like to just change under members' concerns. Unfortunately, I did not win at bingo. So, other than that, any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion passes. At this time, we'll take public comment and suggestions. The public comment and suggestion period of this meeting is when the City Council offers a time for everyone in attendance or watching from home to address the City Council. Once we move on from the public comment and suggestion period of the meeting, members of the public will no longer be allowed to address the council unless the mayor acknowledges you. As a general rule, the council will listen to all comments but will not comment on or respond to any comments made by speakers. The council will not engage in dialogue. However, any council member can ask questions. If you'd like to address the City Council during the public comment and suggestion period of the meeting, please come forward to the podium or dial 218-628-6289. Before you begin, please state your name and address for the meeting minutes. Comments will be limited to 3 minutes. Anyone addressing the City Council will be prohibited from using obscene, profane, or threatening language or boisterous conduct that disrupts the meeting or the security of the public. Is there anyone at this time that is interested in participating in the public comment and suggestion period of the meeting? Joe, the floor is yours.
Hi, my name is Joe. I'm with JPJ Engineering. I stopped by and just to say hi and see how the council's working. It's been about 3 years since I've been here. I gave everybody my card. We're a local engineering firm. We got an office headquartered up in Hibbing. It's working.
He would say something if it wasn't. I'm assuming it is.
But I'm out of the Hermantown office, which is right up the road here. Basically, more or less let you know that there's other engineers in the area. If it ever comes up for question or some need at some time in the future. So, I didn't want to take much time, I just want to stop by and say hi.
No, thank you for introducing yourself and for the business cards. We'll keep them on file. Did council have any questions? Councilor Benson.
I do have one. What other cities do you work with?
Me personally or the firm?
The firm.
The firm, Floodwood, Cromwell, Gilbert, mainly the Hibbing office. We also do some work for the city of Hibbing Public Utilities. I don't know, right off the top of my head. Me personally, I handle more stuff up and down I-35 corridor, all the way from Stacy on up to basically Hermantown, Spokane, Carlton. So, I've been doing this for 25 years, so there isn't really much that I have not seen, to say it that way. I personally do everything from site developments, whether residential or commercial, or even if, I'll just say it this way, say like a quick trip wants to come in or a holiday, the site plan for something like that. I'm personally working on some site plans for stuff down in Duluth, west Duluth. And I also serve as city engineer for 3 different communities. That's me personally.
Very good. Thank you.
Any other questions?
I gave my card in case there's any questions or anything down the road.
Perfect.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you. Any other questions from council? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion to approve tonight's agenda. Before that motion is made, I would like to move 6E, 2022 fund transfers, up to 6B, since Finance Director Brunfelt kindly made her presence here today. So other than that, we'll entertain a motion with those changes. I'll make that motion if there's a second.
Second.
Sent by Councilor Reuter. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion passes. Looking for a motion to approve tonight's consent agenda. I'll make a motion to approve tonight's consent agenda. Is there a second?
Second.
Sent by Councilor Benson. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion passes. That will bring us to number 3, Clerk advises council. Administrator Rich.
Thank you, Mayor. I have had a few items come up since the drafting of the agenda. Number 1 is you have at your seat the committees and commission appointment and terms. You can start looking at what terms are coming up, which terms are due, which seats need to be filled, and maybe give some suggestions or talk to people who you might be interested. Again, that procedure is to open up those open seats, applicants to the community to apply. The current people in the positions can reapply for the position, but it's a chance to open up those seats to everybody and not just approve people who have been there. So if you have any questions on those, you can give those to me, but those will be, those positions will be advertised and let known very shortly. The second item that I had on the agenda is we are going to be opening up for rental again now that we've got the HVAC under control, and we have a new person that's in community ed that handles the rental from us, and she's very thorough, and we can come up with policy or procedures on rentals again. Things like getting the door keys situated has helped a lot with that situation too, so rentals will be opening back up. And then finally, just a reminder on the December 8th 2nd Street public information meeting. Again, this isn't a hearing, this isn't required, but just giving the residents along those streets a chance to come and get some updates and ask some additional questions. That's December 8th at 5:30 here.
Thank you. Does council have any questions regarding any of those topics? On this list, are all these seats open, or are some of them a council requirement seat? Like liquor control, I know Councilor Reuter, it looks like his term is up at the end of the year. Is that a council required seat?
That is a council required seat, yes.
So we'll just make sure that those seats don't go out for advertising.
Yes.
Thank you. Any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll move on. That will bring us to 5A, Truth and Taxation Meeting. Do we need to make a motion to suspend the regular city council meeting? No? So we'll hand the floor over to Finance Director Brunfelt, but you probably need a mic, right? You can use mine. Should we hit the lights or no?
Thank you, Mayor and councilors, for inviting me to present the 2023 Truth in Taxation public hearing.
Can you see?
Barely, but yes.
Should be able to turn the back lights on somehow.
Ah, perfect. The Truth in Taxation public hearing is required by Minnesota law. Tonight, we will discuss the budget for 2023 and the proposed property tax levy. After the brief presentation, there will be time for public comment and questions. The City Council still needs to certify the final levy either tonight or at another meeting before December 31st. The planned increase to the tax levy is 7%. over last year. The proposed tax collection at that rate is 1.8 million. The tax collection in 2022 was 1.7 million. 238,000 of that levy is for bonded debt service, and 55,000 is for the Proctor Economic Development Association. The remaining amount is for the general fund. The impact to a homeowner with a $200,000 property value is a 5.1 increase, or $60.48 for the year, $5.04 monthly, less than a sub at the Proctor Pizza. It is important to remember the components of your property taxes. The City of Proctor's portion of your taxes is the portion in red, and that is about 35% of your tax bill, with 40% going to St. Louis County and 25% going to Proctor Public Schools. The other thing that can impact a change in your personal property taxes is the change in the value of your home. If you meet certain criteria, you may qualify for a refund on a portion of your property taxes. What do you get for your property tax payment? For a home valued at $200,000, the monthly property tax for the city portion of that tax is $104.55. That amount allows the community to benefit from police, fire, and first responder services, street maintenance, snow plowing, parks and trail maintenance, and economic development activities to improve the economic activity in the community. With more economic activity, there is a potential to increase the tax base and therefore reduce the property tax burden on residents. Total expenditures for 2023 at $2.97 million are similar to 2022 at $2.9 million, with general increases in each category for inflation. The street department had additional capital expenditures in 2022 tied to the construction of the sand salt facility. In 2023, they plan to replace a truck that they use for sign and sewer projects. In 2022, an 8th officer was added in the police department. And while the budget does include costs for all 8 officers, it has been many years since the PD was fully staffed. And they even began 2023 with 1 officer called up for active military duty. This slide shows a graphical representation of the expenses over a 4-year period. The yellow and green bars represent actual expenditures from 2020 and 2021. The gray and blue represent budgeted expenditures for 2022 and 2023. This slide represents the projected revenues for the general fund. In this representation, the property tax figures do not include property tax collected for debt service. Revenues here are fairly consistent from 2022 to 2023. The council did approve a new rate schedule for permit fees based on increases in the expenses related to issuing permits. Again, this is a graphical representation of the general fund revenues over a 4-year period. The yellow and green bars represent actual expenditures for 2021 and 2020 and 2021. The gray and blue represent budgeted expenditures for 2022 and 2023. This is more of a historical look at the levy amounts since 2012. The gray bars represent the total property tax levy for the city using the axis on the left of the chart. And the orange line is the inflation rate. So just showing, especially through the years 2015 through 2018, the property tax, really going up in alignment with the inflation rate. a little bit of a change in from 2018 to 2020 where that isn't the case. And again, now we're seeing really record high inflation. But our levies are staying really at just a very minimal increase. The city strives to maintain an unassigned general fund balance in the range of 35 to 50% of the general fund operating expenditures. The city receives the majority of its revenues in July and December, and the reserves are necessary to ensure cash flow and to be prepared for unexpected developments. The unassigned general fund balance is projected in the 2023 budget to be a very healthy 46%. The gray bars on this chart are the operating unassigned fund balance, and the red line is that percentage that we're looking for. So you can see in the last few years it's been maintaining a healthy amount. The City Council asked for a presentation of various levels of property tax. They set the preliminary levy at 7%, and by state law, they cannot certify a levy higher than that, but they can choose to lower the levy. We show here the difference between a 5.1% increase, a 6% increase, and the proposed 7% increase. If the council certified a 6% levy, it would result in an annual savings for a homeowner of a $200,000 home of $11.73. And if it were a 5.1% levy, that amount would be $22.28. The difference in the general fund budget would be $16,260 and $30,894, respectively. Again, I thank you for your time, and we'll open it up to any questions or comments according to the guidelines set forth by the mayor.
Can we go back to?
One second, Counselor. So, no, that you're fine. So anyone at this time that has questions or comments can dial in if you're watching from home. That call-in number again is 218-628-6289. Again, that's 218-628-6289, and we'll give that a minute or two, see if we get any call-ins. Yeah, we'll do that in the meantime. So, Counselor Johnson.
Can we go back to the one, our spending in different departments? One, I think it's one more back. Yep, well, no, yeah, go, the one you were on then, Jess. So, the police, almost $100,000 increase. Weren't we told that by adding an 8th officer and being at full staff, it would not go up? Weren't we told that?
Yes, you were, but this is also accounting for the cost of inflation and the increase in operating too. So it's not simply all just salaries in that increase.
And one of the things in a budget is we project every single hour being filled. And every single hour being filled at the highest rate possible. So, and we still don't even know where we're going to come in with contract negotiations. So we have budgeted conservatively.
Okay, then how are the street going down?
There's capital expenditures for the sand and salt shed that were included in the street budget for 2022. You also have to remember that this is comparing a budget to a projection you know, our 2022 budget, it's not necessarily 2022 actual expenditures.
Another way I look at it, Counselor Johnson, is the projected expenditures on this sheet serve for the purposes of tonight, not necessarily the purposes of the final budget. Because we would still have to, we still have some tweaking to do on our final budget, which I think is more of where you're headed.
Okay. Thank you.
Does council have any other questions for Finance Director Brunfeld? Councilor Benson?
Thank you. Miscellaneous revenue for '23 is down compared to '22. Why is that? Being cautious, or?
If I might interject, is that where we put some of the rentals that we haven't been doing for the last year and a half?
It would include, it includes several things. I don't know that I have enough detail in front of me to be able to give you a great answer to your question. I'm just checking to see if I made a note.
You could get back. I do apologize, I should have.
Likely it includes grant funds, which we wouldn't have any that we know of for 2023.
Thank you.
Any word on the LGA this year? I mean,
Yeah, we have that number. It remains, I mean, there was a very slight increase.
there was a slight,
It's actually on that page right there.
that is the actual
That is the
number?
actual number, yeah.
Thank you. Any other conversations? Okay, well, council will have to decide what we want to do then. Leslie, did you have anything more to add? So
I do not.
flip the lights back on and. Thank you, Leslie. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, so council saw the presentation that was put together very nicely for us, and thank you for doing that. We did set our preliminary levy at 7%. You saw the 5.1, the 6, and the 7. I guess we'll open the floor for discussion on what council would like to do as far as setting their levy for 2023. I know it's not a fun conversation to have, but you saw the numbers there. I know last year there was 0 increase, correct? So, I'll be the one to say it, I guess. 6% gives us a little bit of cushion for things to go wrong. 5% does, but not very much cushion. So I guess my opinion would be to go 6%, but what does council feel? I'm one guy up here. And to Councilor DeWall's point and Councilor Johnson's point, you know, we can address some of the numbers during a budget meeting to fine tune that a little bit, but the levy's a levy, so. Council have any input? Councilor Benson, thank you.
And this is probably a repeat question from one of our past meetings, but with the increase in property valuations. The percent change is 7% proposed, but what would the actual change to a homeowner with that $200,000 home?
At 7%, it equates to a 5.1% increase for the homeowner, assuming that their property value doesn't change. And that's because the value of all properties are taxed.
So if we were looking at that 5%, staying at 7 would actually give us that 5% that we had looked for.
Well, that would be for the homeowner.
Yes.
The city would get a 7% increase.
Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions, comments, concerns? Well, with nothing being said, I'll make a motion to set our,
I got it.
oh, Counselor DeWall.
Finance Director, in your professional recommendation, having been here a couple years now, and with the projections, just what they are, projections, at a 5.1, does that leave, what kind of spirit does that leave you?
Good question.
Shouldn't have the mic now.
It results in a bottom line of a $763 surplus, which isn't a lot. Doesn't leave a lot of room for errors. Now, of course, in every line item in here, it's a budget. We don't have a crystal ball. We don't know what will happen. We did include inflationary increases in there. And we do have a healthy reserve. So if something, that's one of the reasons for that reserve, if something went direly, wrong, we would have that to be able to have a deficit.
What's the bottom line number at 6?
I did not calculate that. It would be $16,000 more.
And if I might, Mayor, you don't have to decide on your levy tonight. The Truth in Taxation hearing is for a chance for the public to hear the information and put comments and ask questions. You can wait to approve your levy for the next council meeting, if that's what your comfort level is at. I personally don't like it to go that long, because if something were to happen at that last council meeting of the year, you do have to certify it by the end of the year. Then if you don't have a quorum, you have to call a special meeting. So you do have the option of talking more, asking more questions before you certify.
And I'll leave that up to council. I was going to make a motion tonight, but if council would like to wait another 2 weeks to look at it, we can go that route. But I feel pretty comfortable with Finance Director Brunfeld's numbers. Like I said, no one wants to see a levy of 6%, but I guess that's the time. So, council want to wait, or council comfortable with myself making a motion? Councilor Benson.
So if we're at 6%, which is what you're looking at,
That's what my motion will probably be, yes.
what would then be the impact to the homeowner? Would it also drop that approximately 1.9%?
That is on the second to last slide. At 6%,
$200,000 is $48.
$48, yeah.
they would have an increase in their taxes from 2022 to 2023 of $48.75, an annual increase.
Is there a percentage that goes with that?
Do not have,
Okay.
it would be, it's essentially 2% less than the So it would be 4% for us.
Any other questions? Counselor Benson?
No, sir.
Okay, well, with that being said and no objection from council, I'll make a motion to set our levy at 6% for 2023.
I'll second that.
Counselor Reuter seconds that. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion passes. Thank you again, Leslie. That will bring us to what is on the agenda 6E, 2022 fund transfers. Do you want that one again, Leslie, or Administrator Rich?
Yeah, we can both take questions if there are questions on it.
So, in your packet, there was a memo with all the transfers for the end of the year. Just looking for a motion to approve those transfers.
I'll make that motion.
Counselor Reuter made the motion. Is there a second?
I'll second for discussion.
Counselor DeWall seconds for discussion. Any discussion? Counselor DeWall.
I don't know if I have to stage this with a motion, but I would like to see, maybe it's for a different night. I think it's for a different night.
Is that one? Are you talking about the loan payments?
Liquor store.
If we could address that.
Now? Okay. There's two loans. One would be the liquor store to Puck loan, and we make a payment at the end of the year, journal entry payment. I'm assuming that goes from the liquor fund to Puck at whatever interest rate it is. I would like to see that we're down now to a reasonable indebtedness, and I'd like to see that paid off. There's a healthy fund, which Finance Director Grunfeld can talk about, and there's still enough room for the business cycle, peaks and valleys in an operating year to cover the swings of the slow time versus but I would really like to put that money to use from the previous couple of years with COVID stimulus and stuff like that, and pay that off. So if I need to make that in a form of a motion, I will, but I'll put it up for discussion. The other loan needs to come from PETA. As a part of my last meeting, I'm going to also recommend that PETA use the unspent portion of their budget at the end of the year and do an enhanced payment back to their loan. Because that's getting down there too, and we've had a few years now where we make the minimum payment at the end of the year, but I'd like to see that cleaned up as well. So that's just my thoughts moving forward from a loan stance.
No, and I would agree with you, Counselor DeWall, that getting those paid off and the money back to Puck would be nice to see. But what's council's decision? We do have a motion and a second on the floor, so this is discussion. We can always put that motion to a vote, and Counselor DeWall can make a motion regarding that liquor store payment, but if that's what council would like to see. Council all right with that? Do you want to rescind the motion, or do you want to take a vote on it?
I think it would be kind of two motions, because this first motion is just, I'd call it housekeeping end of the year.
But those
Housekeeping.
payments are on here. does it matter?
Well, no, the liquor fund to general is for city administration.
The loan payments are at the very bottom. That would just be to approve
The annual
Annual
payment?
payment.
Yeah.
Right.
So what your motion would be then afterwards would be to pay off the remaining after that 16.7 is off?
Yes.
Okay. All right, any other discussion regarding the transfers? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion passes. Counselor DeWall, the floor is yours.
I'll make a motion to pay off the remaining balance, said balance, from liquor store fund to PUC
Counselor,
at the end of the year.
Counselor DeWall made the motion. Is there a second? Go ahead. I'll second that. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion passes. Thank you. That will bring us back to 6B, Resolution 45-22, gambling permit. I gotta find it on my screen here. In your packet was a Resolution 45-22, state a resolution of non-objection to issuance state of Minnesota charitable gambling license for a race worth winning ALS to conduct a raffle at Blackwoods Event Center on December 19th, 2023 in Proctor, Minnesota. Is there a motion to approve Resolution 45-22?
So moved.
Counselor Johnson made the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by Counselor Benson. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion passes. Brings us to 5C, Liquor Control Committee Recommendations, 2023 liquor license. Prior to this meeting, Liquor Control held a meeting to approve the liquor license for the year of 2023. On that list were the Keyboard Lounge, Legends Dart Bar, Proctor Moose, Powerhouse Bar, Mountain Spirits, and Proctor Blackwoods. Is there a motion to approve the liquor license for 2023? Megan, everybody was current and paid in full?
Correct.
Can I see that,
Yes, sir.
please?
I'll make that motion.
Counselor Johnson made the motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Counselor Reuter. Any further discussion?
In the past, we've let the Speedway and the golf course come in later in the year. That's still expected.
Yeah, and I
That's
believe
still
that,
protocol.
I believe that was discussed at the meeting prior to this one, that was still protocol for, who'd you say, the Raceway, and who was the other one?
Golf course.
Golf course, yes, correct.
And was this a unanimous decision from the Liquor Control Board?
It was.
Any other discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion passes. 5D, liquor store hiring recommendation. In your packet, you see there's a recommendation from liquor store manager Andy Brunner, recommending the vacant liquor store union position be offered to Brittany Birch. Is there a motion to approve this recommendation? I'll make the motion to approve. Is there a second?
Second.
Sent by Counselor Reuter. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion passes. Brings us to 5F, legislative agenda. Counselor Benson.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I didn't put anything in the packets because I thought this would be more of a freewheeling discussion. Legislature's going to be convening quite quickly. While this is not a bonding year, quite often, we've been very lucky in the past getting bonding requests in a non-bonding year. And when I look at some of the items that we could be looking at, one is the IRRB, or the Iron Range Resource Rehabilitation Board. They're going to have a bunch of new members. It's going to go from DFL control, probably likely to Republican control. So there may be some opportunities to be part of that. We're not in that area, the IRR service area. And this could be an opportunity. There's that Willermunger Trail Spur. We were supposed to be able to have a sales tax in the general election this year. That did not happen because of the governor and the legislature. The idea was to have gone in with Hermantown and Grand Rapids, who are also looking for sales taxes for their trails. And again, didn't happen. What was interesting in Hermantown for their sales tax was it was for 3 events: fields, trails, and ice rinks. And the one that got the highest percentage, 67% of the vote, was for trails. So I think that still is an opportunity. And with Hermantown going as fast as they are with their trails, I think there's an argument to be made about Proctor being that missing link and having an opportunity to perhaps just have the state legislature give us some money to complete that. Again, long shot, but I think it's within reach. There's still the sales tax question. We're bordered right now on 3 sides by 2 cities that have a sales tax higher than we have. Having a lower tax has not attracted businesses as some would hope and would think would happen, but it doesn't. So there's no reason why we should be less, especially when you have such a high number of people living from the outside of the community coming in to purchase goods and services. And then, of course, there's that discussion, what are we going to do with the street department area as they migrate to the new site? Community survey, we were talking about doing that in 2022. We didn't. That's not part of a legislative thing, but it could be helpful in determining what we want to look at. And at least on the county level, there's the question of the SRO, where the ISD 2142 gets 3 SROs that the county pays 50% of. And we're, our county dollars goes to provide SROs in not only Proctor, but in 2142. So those are just a few of my thoughts as we have one meeting left before the legislature begins.
Sounds good,
And
Councilor.
many other communities have already gotten their legislative wish list to their representatives and senators.
All very good ideas. Council have any discussion, questions on Councilor Benson? Councilor DeWall?
Just one, I don't know if it fits or not, Jess, poke me if it doesn't. But with recent discussions, there was a topic about school being able to levy more to help cover SRO expenses. And from a city standpoint, what can we do to help them increase that amount?
Yeah.
Sounds to me like that would be legislative. I would like to see that added so that it is coming, as Councilor Benson put, not just from inside Proctor residents, but at least throughout the school district.
Yes.
So the issue is that the school has a, their safety levy is restricted. They can only levy so much. And a portion of that is used for counselors and a portion of that is used for the SRO. So with that levy restriction on them, they can't levy more dollars. They can choose it to spend it differently, but they can't levy more dollars or specifically for the SRO.
Thank you. Any other conversation regarding Councilor Benson's legislative update? I like the trail idea because Hermantown is moving fast on theirs. I know Councilor Reuter is very instrumental in trying to get some trail progress through town, so I think that is a good option that we do have. But Councilor Benson, did you have something more to add?
Oh, I think after Wednesday, when the recount gets completed, would be a good time to perhaps formalize some of these ideas. I know we have, I think, 2 friends who will be sitting on the IRRR, Lessard and Hirschchild. That may be they might be sympathetic to Proctor and our request to at least find a way in there. Not unlike volleyball for the boys in the Minnesota High School League coming up with a new designation, perhaps the Iron Range Resource and Rehabilitation Board could find the same for Proctor.
Is that something, Administrator Rich, do you have time to work on that with Councilor Benson to formalize those ideas, and we can pass those along?
Sure.
Is that,
I'd
Councilor
still
Reuter.
like to see us try to add the word parks to our food and beverage tax,
That is a
you
good
know,
one.
so that
Yeah.
it's trails right now, which is a focus that we have, but I think that in the long run, it'd be nice to be able to have that tax be used for parks if we want to make some changes in town.
Yep.
You know, it doesn't cost them anything, they just have to add a word.
Nope, that's a good idea. Did that work for you, Councilor Benson?
Yeah, and I could certainly speak with the administrator. We could sit down and kind of glean some of this. I could get, I'll pass along the diatribe I have here, each item, and council could look at it at their leisure. I've been trying to have weekly conversations with the senator-elect. And we'll see what where the council wishes to proceed, and we'll go from there.
Is this something you could put on the next agenda once it's formalized for council to look at it before,
Yes.
would that work? Awesome, thank you. Any other conversation? Hearing none, we'll, does that need a motion, Attorney Bray? Looking for a motion to move forward with Councilor Benson's administrative agenda, or legislative agenda, I'm sorry.
I will.
Councilor Benson made the motion, is there a second? I will second that. Any further discussion?
Assuming that that's with the additions of Councilor Reuters and, okay, yes.
I've taken some notes, and I will include those in, get them to Administrator Rich, and she could disseminate it to the council so everybody has an opportunity to look.
Perfect. Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion passes. 5G, Resolution 46-22, designate polling place. In your packet was Resolution 46-22, designating the Proctor Community Center at 100 Pionk Drive, Proctor, Minnesota, as a polling place for all 2023 municipal elections. Is there a motion to approve Resolution 46-22?
So moved.
Councilor Johnson made that motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilor DeWall. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion passes. Brings us to 5H, Johnson Controls PSA 2022-2023 renewal. Administrator Rich.
Thank you, Mayor. This PSA agreement has not changed. Johnson Control just likes to get the annual amount to the board and have you review what is included in the service agreement, and then sign it to move into the next year of our contract. The price did not change from their original 3-year proposal.
Thank you, and this is year 2 of 3, so is there a motion to approve the Johnson Controls Plan Service continuation? I'll make that motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Counselor Reuter. Any further discussion? Counselor Benson?
And I did not know if I heard this right, but there's no increase.
Correct.
Counselor Johnson?
And Administrator Rich, we're happy, satisfied with Johnson Control? Everything's going good?
Yes, yep. I think that staying on top of the servicing, they show up regularly, they give us regular reports, which are on file, so if you ever wanted to see them. Maintenance is preventing problems. We've had a few problems, but those are not due to Johnson Control, those are unforeseen and accidents, so.
Thank you. Any other conversation? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion passes. Brings us to 5I, Locator Grant Award and Contract. Administrator Rich.
Thank you. This grant was submitted at the recommendation of PUC and the Street and Sewer Department. And what this is purchasing a locator that will locate our utilities in a more accurate fashion and with a greater degree of error. Sorry, and it also allows us to connect this up with our GIS system. So when we do locate the lines, we can add them to our GIS. We can add them curb stops. There's a lot of capacity in what we can use these for. So this is a 50% grant that we applied to MinOSHA, and of the remaining 50%, the sewer department will pay for, and PUC will pay for the other 50%.
Nice, thank you. Go ahead.
I was just going to ask, does this pay for 100% or is there
50.
It's a 50.
50%?
Yeah,
Thank you.
you should.
So we're looking for a motion to accept the Locator Grant Award and Contract from the state.
So moved.
Counselor Benson made the motion. Is there a second? Go ahead, Counselor.
Second.
Seconded by Counselor DeWall. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion passes. Brings us to members' concerns. Counselor Benson.
I have none.
Nothing for
Mr.
you?
Mayor?
Thank you. Counselor DeWall.
Nothing.
Nothing. Thank you. Counselor Johnson.
Nope, I'm good, thank you.
Thank you. Counselor Reuter.
I have nothing.
Nothing. Thank you. I just got a couple of reminders. Mayor for a Day ends next Monday, December 12th. So if anyone's interested in submitting an essay for Mayor for a Day contest, please go get those into City Hall before December 12th. And St. Rose will be hosting another bingo on December 15th at 6 o'clock, Counselor?
Bingo starts at 7.
Bingo starts at
Doors open at
7.
6.
That's with the Men of Act again.
Correct.
So feel free to come to that if you want to win some bingo or beat me at bingo. So, Attorney Bray. Administrator Rich, anything more to add? Thank you. With that, we'll look for a motion to approve the bills in the amount of $78,578.08.
So moved.
Counselor Reuter made the motion. Is there a second? I'll second that. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion passes. Looking for a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion, we adjourn.
Counselor DeWall made a motion to adjourn. Is there a second? Nope. Counselor
ahead.
Johnson seconds that. Any further discussion? Hearing none. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Oppose? Motion passes. Thank you.